Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today's topic is salvation. And before we go into the topic, the body of the topic, let us do the definition. Salvation. Salvation simply means to be saved, to be redeemed, to be delivered, or to be rescued. Thus, the word salvation raises some questions as saved from what? Redeemed from what? Delivered from what? Or rescued from what? With these questions, it is implied that there is a particular kind of destruction that is awaiting man, and from which man needs to be saved, redeemed, delivered, or rescued. The origin of this destruction we are talking about is Adam's disobedience. We are all familiar with the story of Adam and Eve, in which God told Adam as a command that he could eat from any other fruit, any other tree in the garden except a particular tree. Now, this instruction or command, this instruction was a command, not a piece of advice. And you know the difference between a command and a piece of advice is that there is no punishment that is attached to a piece of advice. But when it comes to command, it is being backed with both power and authority. And so a defaulter cannot escape being punished. And God is an authority over man. So when God gave man that command, there is a punishment that accompanies it. And what is this punishment? It was clearly stated, even at the point of giving that command. God told Adam, the day you eat that fruit, it is that very same day that you shall die. So that was the punishment attached with the command. Unfortunately for man, he had a company that also has a bad company. Now that company called woman, that is Eve, was not bad in herself, but she kept a bad company, which is the serpent. And the serpent was able to lure her, deceive her into eating that fruit which God clearly stated that no one should eat. When she ate it, she brought the fruit to Adam. And even though Adam tried to persuade Eve, reminding her of what God had commanded him, Eve, in her own turn, was able to convince Adam for him also to eat it. And unfortunately, Adam fell for her sweet, sugar-coated lip, fell for her sweet talk, and he was sweet-talked into eating that fruit, thereby disobeying God. True to God's command and God's being and God's authority and God's word, Adam and Eve had to face the consequence. Even though it was not God's intention for man to be destroyed, nevertheless, because God honors his word, God had to allow them to face the consequence of their disobedience. So that destruction is what we are talking about, because in due time the sin of Adam spread across all human race. But because God so loves man, as it's written in John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have eternal life. God started preparing a way of restoring man back to the original plan of eternal life. Thus, when we talk about salvation, we are talking about the restoration of this eternal life, the original plan of God, because God's original plan was for man to live eternally. Remember that God created man in his own image, after his own likeness. So what is that characteristic or essence to which man is likened to God? What is that essence? God is an eternal being, and therefore God created man in his image to be also eternal. So it is this salvation plan that was set for man to be restored, for man to be saved from that destruction of eternal damnation, eternal death, for man to be delivered from that death, for man to be rescued from that destruction, for man's life to be restored. So salvation is simply the restoration of eternal life. Among scholars, there arose an argument which talks about the key to salvation. What is the key to salvation? We all know that salvation is the restoration of that eternal life. Now, what is the key to salvation? This type of argument is akin to the types of questions that they raise, that they pose before Jesus. Like the rich man asked Jesus along the way, what must I do to be saved? That is exactly the area in which this argument is talking about. What is the major key to salvation? What must man do to be saved? For this argument, there are two schools of thought. The first one is good work. That is work in general. And the second one is faith. Those that hold good work as the key to salvation argue that since God is identified with goodness, then his salvation